Once again, you're welcome to my channel, Riyadh channel. Um, this is question number 11. Question number 11 from 2023 UTME exams. And this question is a question a student is not expected to spend 30 seconds on. Why? This is because it actually tests the student knowledge of salt. It tests you actually you have been entering the laboratory since you are in your secondary level of education. Now the question reads, what changes sodium hydroxide pellets to liquid? What lead to sodium hydroxide pellets to liquid? This message also goes to my fellow teachers. Please, anytime you are carrying out practicals, don't just prepare solutions or prepare solutions and tells your children or your students how you have just prepared it. Try to sometimes bring them to the laboratory, let them look at how you prepare such solutions and what happens in the case of the solution. Then secondly, the second information I want my fellow teachers to understand is when you are teaching concepts like deliquescency, efflorescency, effervescency, hygroscopy, and others, try to make this practical. Try to make it practical because what is learned practically is mostly understood without any further explanation. Now, going directly to the question, what changes sodium hydroxide pellets to liquid? Some of you might have been looking at the time that I said you shouldn't spend 30 seconds. Yeah, you shouldn't spend 30 seconds if you actually had the knowledge of what I'm going to say. So I am trying to explain more about these aspects. However, to move further, we said your option A is oxygen, option B is water vapor, and option C carbon dioxide, while option D nitrogen. Now, if you look closely, they said sodium hydroxide is changing from pellets to liquid. There is no specific reaction that has been mentioned. What they are trying to say is you left down your sodium hydroxide, and while coming back, you met your sodium hydroxide in a liquid form. There have not been a reaction that has been stated. Nobody says a particular reaction occurred. They only said what makes it changes. What makes it changes. It doesn't mean what reaction occurred before it changes. And however, even going to that aspect of reaction, every other reaction does not make anything change. First thing you should know, which I said if you knew, it will make you understand or select the answer in a very small or short time. That is the concept of types of salt. We have types of salt regarding their quality. We have deliquescent salt, we have efflorescent salt, and we have hygroscopic salt. These concepts are all related to salt. They are all related to salt, or it also relate to hydroxides. Or sometimes neutral substance. So, deliquescent, efflorescent, hygroscopic. So we can limit it to all these to be substances. So to give you a general knowledge, not just based on this question, a substance that absorb water from the atmosphere, they absorb moisture or water content, meaning moisture from the atmosphere, and they dissolve in it. They absorb water without any reaction occurring, and they dissolve in it to form liquid. We call them deliquescent. Absorb and dissolves. We call them deliquescent. However, when you have substances, for example, you have crystalline salts or crystalline substances that has water of crystallization, they lose their own water. They lose its absorbs water to atmosphere, while hygroscopic salts or substances, they absorb water, but do not dissolve. So these are the three aspects I want you to get to understand. So the liquid substance, they absorb moisture from the atmosphere and they dissolve to form solution or liquid. Efflorescent, they lose their own water of crystallization to the atmosphere. For example, magnesium tetrasulfate, 6-pentaheptahydrate or heptahydrate. Yeah. Then you have hygroscopic salts, those that absorb water from the atmosphere and they don't really dissolve in it. Now, this means indirectly you've known what I'm trying to say is the answer. The answer is water vapor. Why? Because when sodium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, the situation or the explanation does not identify that there is a chemical reaction or process occurring. So automatically, mentioning oxygen, which is an act of combustion, does not really make it become liquid. When you combust sodium hydroxide, it doesn't become liquid. And when you combine it with CO2, which is carbon dioxide, not really happens, except otherwise sodium is being liberated and nitrogen is also left untouched. So this, what actually happens is when you have sodium hydroxide changing directly from solid state to liquid state, is because it has absorbed water from the atmosphere, meaning water vapor in a gaseous form from the atmosphere, and it dissolves in the process of that. So, and such group of substances is what we refer to as what? Deliquescent substances. Deliquescent substances, they absorb water from the atmosphere and they dissolve in it. They absorb water, moisture, or water vapor or moisture from the atmosphere, they dissolve in it. While efflorescent substances, they lose their own water. They have internally built water, they lose it to the atmosphere, and the atmosphere absorb it. Hygroscopic substance, they absorb water from the atmosphere and they are increased in mass. For example, how do you identify such? For example, you kept a 5 gram of substance and when you went back, you came back, on measurement you find out that it becomes 8 grams. You see it has transcended from 5 gram to 8 gram, which means there's an addition. But physically, you are not identifying anything coming in. Rather, the substance has taken in moisture from the atmosphere and increased in its size. So this is just the answer to the question. Water vapor is your answer for this particular question. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet again next time. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.